Okay, I think we're gonna get started here. Hi everyone, my name is Claire. I am a student recruitment specialist here at the University of Calgary. I support the students within the Calgary area. As well, joining me, I have Diane, one of our student recruitment ambassadors. Diane will be answering all the questions in the Q&A. So if you have questions as we go through, you're welcome to throw them into the Q&A and we'll be able to answer them as we go as well. But yeah, this is our accepted what's next. So you've already received an offer to the University of Calgary, and we're so excited to start that journey onto the next step. So what does it look like after you've received that offer? And what do our next steps look like to be able to start enrolling in classes, getting involved on campus, and finalizing those offers? So we're going to talk a little bit more generally about Calgary and Alberta in general too. I know we have lots of people from kind of all over the city, the province, the country joining us too. So as you go through, if you have questions about Alberta, Calgary in general too, we're always happy to answer those. But the University of Calgary is located in the heart of southern Alberta. And here at the University of Calgary, we acknowledge and pay tribute to the traditional territories of the peoples of the Treaty 7, including the Blackfoot Confederacy, so comprised of the Siksika, Piikani, Kainai First Nations, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Goodstoney First Nations. The city of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nation within Alberta, Nose Hill Métis District 5, and Elbow Métis District 6. For me, I've grown up in Calgary my whole life. I've spent a lot of my time in Alberta and throughout Calgary. And whenever I kind of get to talk about the city and the university in general, I always find it a great opportunity to be able to acknowledge where we are, especially as you're considering coming and spending a lot of your time on campus as well. So thinking about Alberta, when we think about this province, we're a pretty unique province in that we've got a lot of really cool, unique areas. So you can see in the background of this slide, we have the mountain ranges. The mountains are actually visible from a lot of different places on campus. Even in certain portions of the building that I work in, you're able to see the mountain range pretty easily. As well, there's lots of stuff that's really close to the city. So we have Banff and Lake Louise that are pretty close to Calgary. They're less than 2 hour drive. Sometimes it's pretty quick to get out there. As well, we do have that major city area within Calgary. So we'll talk a little bit about the city in general. But when we think about the province too, we're a pretty affordable province. So we don't pay any provincial sales tax. We only pay GST or goods and services taxes on all of our purchases. As well, we have one of the lowest costs of average rent in the country. So lots of chances to keep those costs low as you start to study and you want to find opportunities to be able to explore the province and the city. Thinking about where Calgary is in Canada. So we're right in that prairie area. Um, from Vancouver, it's just over an hour flight, sometimes even less. As well, the drive is pretty short, so you can do it typically in half a day. We have a lot of our students that are from Vancouver and they'll drive out there for a long weekend or even for reading week. As well, we're pretty close to that other east side of Canada as well. So we're just under 4 hours to Toronto and just over 4 hours to Montreal. The furthest you'll kind of go is when we get to like St. John's. That's a little bit of a longer flight, but even Halifax is 5 hours. As a major airport hub in the country, Calgary also has lots of access. If you're thinking about doing international travel throughout the portion of your degree, you'll be able to access that through the airport as well. So thinking about Calgary more specifically, you can see here that there's a lot of different areas. So we have that downtown center. The campus is not right downtown. We are in the northwest section, but you can also see in some of these smaller photos that there is a lot of really unique areas. So the one with the train underneath it, that's actually our Calgary Public Library, the Central Library. This one is right downtown. It's accessible probably 15 minutes by train from the campus. And there's public libraries in almost every neighborhood too. So if you're studying on campus and you want a change of scenery, you can always look at one of those public libraries as well. That middle photo is at our Canada Olympic Park. This is where the Olympics were hosted when they were in Calgary, and there's lots of different ways that people in the city use that area as well. So these people are actually go-karting down the hill, down the ski hill, which they do in the summer when there's obviously no snow on the ground. And then we also have our Peace Bridge, which goes over some of the major rivers within Calgary as well, where people will go boating throughout the summer. Lots of really nice places to walk around and see some of those areas of the city as well. But we're a major city, so we have just over 1.6 million people within the Calgary area. And we're pretty spread out in terms of being a major city. So we do have that downtown center, but lots of different areas and communities. We're known as the Blue Sky City, and you can see in this photo, this nice clear day. We see 333 days of sunshine per year on average. So we're known as the sunniest major city within Canada. A lot of our days are having a lot of that really sunny time. Even if it's a couple hours, we're going to have a lot of that sunshine. Keeps it nice and warm in the summer, or sorry, in the winter as well. In the summer, it makes it nice and blue, and you're able to get it outside and involved. When we are thinking about getting around the city too, we have the most extensive pathway and bikeway network in North America with just under 100 kilometers. So lots of people in within the city are getting around on those network of pathways, and you're really able to access a lot of different parts of the city that way. When we think about some other things that the city has to offer, we have the highest personal income per capita of one of the major cities in Canada. And then with that, we also have the second lowest cost of living in Canada. So a really good opportunity to be able to find the balance of those as well. And we have the most head offices and small businesses per capita in the country. So, if you're thinking about getting involved in some of those big industries, or maybe you're wanting to work for a smaller business, all of those opportunities are available within the city as well. So, when we're thinking about the University of Calgary, we're known as Canada's Entrepreneurial University. When we think about entrepreneurship, it can be easy to tie it just to starting a business, but in general, what we're wanting you to kind of find at the entrepreneurial university is to undertake or to do something. So maybe this is starting your own business, maybe it's starting a program you're really passionate about, maybe you're looking to get involved in research. All of this is available to you as Canada's Entrepreneurial University. We are kind of our own little city within the city. So we have just over 38,000 undergraduate students. So our own little community within Calgary. We're founded in 1966. So we're one of the younger major universities within Calgary or in Canada as well. And we're kind of in that golden age of universities, meaning we're still expanding, we're still finding new ways to do things as we continue to grow as a campus community as well. So out of those 38,000 undergraduate students, 95% of them are finishing their whole degree at the University of Calgary. And once we get to the end of that degree, 96.3% of them are employed within that first year of graduating. So lots of students moving right into that degree as they get closer to the end of their term. With that too, we'll talk about what some of those opportunities look like for those work opportunities throughout your degree. But that's one of the big things that a lot of our students are doing is moving right into those jobs as they graduate. So thinking about the campus, we're a walkable campus. As I said, we're the city within the city, and you're able to get around quite easily. So end to end from residence all the way out to the Schulich complex is probably about a 15-minute walk. If you're hustling, it's probably about 10. But if you're wanting to stay inside when it's cold or maybe really warm, there's an opportunity to be able to use all of the tunnels and plus 15 system around the campus. All of our buildings, except for three, are connected by these tunnels and plus 15s, so you're able to get around quite easily as well. But when we think about kind of surrounding the campus, we have our LRT station, which is part of our public transit. The public transit allow you to get around the city quite easily. And as UCalgary students, you're going to be able to get a U pass or a transit pass and access that really easily throughout the city and throughout your degree as well. Within that too, we within the campus, we have our MacEwan Student Center. MacEwan Student Center is kind of the downtown of campus. So this houses a lot of our student services, and we're going to talk about what some of these look like now that you are moving into becoming current students at the University of Calgary. We're going to talk about how you can access these, but right in the heart of campus is where you're going to be able to access all of those. Thinking about living on campus. So if you've already applied for admission and you're thinking about living on residence, hopefully you've already applied for residence, but you actually have till May 1st to apply for a residence guarantee. So if you're wanting to live on campus, you'll have a guaranteed residence for that first year. And we have the chance for double or single rooms. So single rooms are on a lottery basis, but the double rooms are a chance for you to choose your roommate. So you'll be able to choose somebody that you know that you want to live with, or if you don't know anyone and you're moving here, you're able to go through our roommate matching process to be able to access a bunch of different questions and answer questions about your lifestyle and be matched with someone that has a similar lifestyle to you as well, and then be able to choose to live together. As well, within that, you have the all you care to eat meal plan. So, because that first year room doesn't have a kitchen, you want to be able to access some of that, the dining center, and the all you care to eat meal plan lets you go in kind of as often as you'd like to be able to access that as well. And our staff within the dining center is going to be able to really work with you for any of those dietary restrictions or needs that you're looking to find and be able to work around too. So, thinking about some of the experiences, so this can be a really big one to think about as you're moving into starting your degree at UCalgary. How do I get involved? How do I meet people within my degree, within the campus community? If I talked about all the extracurriculars, we'd be here for hours and hours. So, something that our experience team has done is gone in and made a catalog. So, this catalog lets you see every campus event happening, club events, all of the opportunities for leadership experience, volunteer experience. All of this will exist in that catalog to be able to get access to that information quite easily. One of the big ways that we see students get involved within our campus community is our student clubs. So we have over 400 student clubs. There's a huge range to choose from, and these are going to range from academic to social and cultural to special interests. It's going to be a really big range. And the nice thing is our campus, our clubs, that are put on by our students union do something called Clubs Week. So it's essentially like a fair. So when you have universities come to your school and maybe they set up booths and things like that, it'll be the same. So it'll be all of the clubs. Be able to talk to them about what kind of activities they do, how you can get involved, talk to some of the people that are actually in the clubs and be able to see if it's a right fit for you. As well, we have our ways to stay active on campus. So, our Dinos athletics teams are going to be our varsity and club sports. If you're looking to play at the varsity or club level, you're going to be able to connect with the coaches directly. At the bottom of this slide, there is the QR code that'll take you to the recruitment contact page to be able to connect with them. In general, you should start connecting with them kind of right away as well. But there's lots of ways to be able to stay active on campus in other more casual ways as well. So we have lots of facilities available to students on campus. So things like our aquatic center, our fitness center, or our gym, as well things like our Olympic Oval, which is the fastest ice in the world. And the reason it's called that is because so many speed skating records have been broken there that it's a really good chance to be able to experience ice skating if you haven't before, or continue to do it if it was an activity you enjoyed as well. Additionally, we have our recreational and intramural sports. So maybe you play a sport right now, but you want to continue to play more casually. Maybe you are wanting to learn a new sport. This is a really good chance to be able to access a lot of that as well as you go through your degree. It's a little bit more casual, another way to meet people throughout the campus. So thinking more on the academic side, again, if I talked about every academic experience, we'd be here for hours and hours. So some of the ones that I want to highlight, and I'm sure that you've heard about a lot of these before, but they can be really interesting to look into as you start to plan out what your first year looks like. We have a lot of really cool labs on campus. So our quantum lab, which does some really cool physics research, as well as our human performance lab, which does NFL-funded studies for concussions as well as research into elite performance equipment for athletes and some of those mobility or accessibility innovations as well. Lots of good chances to access those even as an undergraduate student. As well, we have a lot of ways for you to get that hands-on learning. So things like our Rothny Observatory allows students to access astrophysics equipment and get that hands-on experience, and a lot of our field schools as well. And we'll talk about what some of that kind of field school or global learning looks like too. So as I said, we're Canada's entrepreneurial university, and one of the big ways that we want to highlight this for you on campus is our Hunter Hub for Entrepreneurial Thinking. So the Hunter Hub for Entrepreneurial Thinking lets you get involved in some of the entrepreneurship projects happening on campus, or maybe one that you want to start. And it doesn't matter which degree you are in, which program you're in, which kind of step you are in your degree process. You could start connecting with them right from your first year. And there's some really cool opportunities to start your own business, get involved in one that other students are already working on, or maybe you just want to know more a little bit more about what entrepreneurial thinking is. You're able to add something like an embedded certificate. As well, we have ways to get involved for research. So, as I'm sure you have heard, or maybe you've seen in the slides, we are a research intensive university, meaning a lot of our students are getting involved with some of that research. One of the big ways that we encourage students to get involved is with our Ready for Research digital badge. This lets you learn about how to talk to instructors about research, how to find research that you're interested in, as well as ways to be able to get funding. One of the big ways to get funding is our peer awards or our undergraduate research awards. This is a kind of program that allows you to be able to access that research funding without or right away from your first couple years. We have really cool research that gets happen that starts happening in every faculty. So some of them being like our social work faculty, we have students that do research on different communities. So we have a student doing research on the female climbing community. We have students that do research in the Haskayne School of Business. So it's not just limited to that science or engineering background as well. One of the big ones that I do want to highlight, all of these are important ones that you can access throughout your program, but one that you're able to start kind of learning about right away and be able to start planning out with maybe the faculty or our global learning office is our study abroad. So we aim to have 50% of our students do study abroad, and you can actually do up to 2 years of your University of Calgary degree doing a study abroad or global learning. So this can range based on what you're interested in doing. We have students that do up to a year studying in Europe. We have students that'll go do an internship internationally. We have students that'll go to Hawaii for a month in the summer to study photography. And we have some that are more built into your program, but still a great opportunity for that hands-on learning. So things like field school and a lot of those are going to be a great chance to get that experience as well. We also have our work integrated learning. So this is a chance for you to get that industry real world experience while you're studying. So things like our co-op or cooperative education or our internships, these are going to be an opportunity for you to get hands-on learning in an industry job at a full-time pace in a paid opportunity. Some programs are required. So engineering requires some type of work integrated learning, but some programs you'll be able to add it on optionally as well. As well, some of our programs have practicums built in. So things like nursing, education, social work, they're going to have practicum portions that are built in or integrated with the program. And some of them will have the optional the way to add it optionally, especially when we think about some of the research or field experience, you'll be able to add that in as a kind of optional opportunity as well. So lots of really good chances to get that hands-on learning, figure out what you really enjoy about the industry or the degree that you're working in and you're studying in before going back and finishing your studies as well. Um, in terms of what kind of the other benefits of co-op, when we think about all of the co-op graduates in Canada, 90% of them receive a job offer within 1 month of applying. So lots of our students are having the opportunity to move right into a career because they have this practical experience from their co-op. Okay, so I know we've already all kind of gone through the application process, but just so we can kind of see where we're at in this process. So our next kind of big dates that we're looking at, March 15th is the deadline for you to upload documents to your student center for admission. If you're a student in Alberta, British Columbia, Saskatchewan, or the Yukon, you don't necessarily need to worry about this because your documents typically come through Apply Alberta in terms of your transcripts. If you're outside of those provinces or international, then you'll be looking to upload those documents as soon as possible. And we can always talk about what that looks like as well. But one of the other things that I do want to highlight before we talk about some of those next steps is customizing your experience. So in your application, you chose a first choice and a second choice. That first choice is the what you're the most interested in. It's really what you want to do. That second choice program is something that's similar in nature in terms of the degree and the subject matter, with a little bit of a less competitive admission average. Um, at this point, if you haven't offered your second choice program and you're still waiting for your first choice, you're not sure if you want to accept your offer, anything like that. If you accept your second choice offer and then you are eligible for your first choice offer when we reevaluate after the first semester of grade 12 or after our kind of standard admission starts, then you'll be able to kind of re-accept that offer for that first choice. So even if you accept your offer, pay your deposit for your second choice, you'll still be evaluated for your first choice again. As well, a combined degree option can be a really good choice. For the combined degree option, this is something that you can add in your degree or your application right now, but you can also add it later after your first year of study. So if you know you're kind of interested in something else, but maybe you're wanting to start out in a degree, you'll always be able to connect with the faculty about things like declaring a minor in something like sustainability studies or management and society to be able to get some of that general knowledge and focus more specifically on something else as well. Or adding an embedded certificate, like I mentioned with entrepreneurial thinking, you're going to be able to connect with adding that as well to get some of that well-rounded experience and focus on something else that you're also passionate about. Okay, so kind of thinking about the next steps, one of the big things that we always want to kind of start off with when we're talking about the fact that you've gotten an offer of admission is that we're really excited that you have been admitted into a program. We want to offer all the congratulations. And every time we connect with you, hopefully you're hearing that we're so excited to have you on campus. As we go through these kind of next steps as well, one of the big things that I will note is that as you start to become a current student, you'll move from connecting with our admissions and recruitment team to starting to connect with our enrollment services and your faculty advisors. So at every step of the way, someone's going to be there to support you, and if you're not sure where your question should go, you can always connect with us and say, I'm not sure where I want or I can get the answer that I'm looking for, and we'll be able to find that spot as well. So the next step, so the first step, once you've received an offer of admission, is to accept your offer and to pay the non-refundable tuition deposit. When we think about this tuition deposit, this is applied to your degree. So for our domestic students, it would be $500. For our international students, it would be $5,000. This puts the placement on your seat for your program, and it'll get applied to your first semester of tuition as well. The next big one is attending an event that is open only to our students that have accepted their offer of admission and paid their deposit, is you at UCalgary. This is on April 11th, and this is a chance for you to be able to connect with the faculties, connect with our student services, make sure you're set up for success for your financials, your application, making sure we're at a good spot to be able to connect with everybody that you need to. As well, the last step is going to be registering in your courses. This will happen in May. So we've got a little bit of time here. You're going to be able to get all the resources that you need before May to be able to start that registration process as well. So if you've received an offer of admission at this point and you have not completed grade 12, this would be known or completed the year of study that you're in. This would be a conditional offer of admission. This is so for students who have received a conditional offer of admission, what we're going to be looking for to finalize your offer is that you maintain your competitive average, you complete all of the required courses for admission, as well as submitting any outstanding documents to your to-do list. So if we're looking for a transcript, if we're looking for your English language proficiency, any of those, we'll be looking that you submit those as well. And then the other big one is graduating from high school. So if you're currently in grade 12 and you know you finished all your required courses in the first semester, we still want to see you finish out that year just so that you can have that full experience of being in high school before moving into post-secondary. As well, In May, there's going to be a link in your student center. Um, you'll be able to see the final averages that you have to maintain within your degree. So it'll show exactly what students have to maintain to be able to keep that admission offer as well. So when we're looking at ways to accept the offer and pay your deposit within your student center, right where it has the program and the little check mark that says you've been admitted, there's going to be a button that says accept. Um, as I said before, if you've been admitted to your second choice program, you'll still continue to be considered to your first choice program until we're done all of our evaluations in the summer. Um, your non-refundable tuition deposit will be the next step. This is going to be applied to your first year tuition fees. Online payments can take some time to process, so we recommend paying that deposit kind of as soon as possible, as soon as you're comfortable and ready to accept that offer. But we say a minimum of 7 days before the May 1st deadline is the best option so that we can get that sorted and get it applied to your account before that deadline comes. So thinking about some of that academic planning, this can be the really big question. So you know you have an offer already, you are ready to start enrolling for courses. We want to make sure we're doing all of the kind of steps that we need to before starting that registration. So you're going to be able to register for all of your available terms at once so that you can reserve your seat in the preferred classes for what you're looking at. You can also go in and do what's called validating your shopping cart. So when you go and register for courses, you're going to put them all into a shopping cart. And then when it's your turn for your to enroll, you're going to be able to just select validate your shopping cart to make sure you're meeting all the prerequisites, and then you're going to be able to enroll in your courses. We recommend validating that shopping cart before your enrollment start time. Your enrollment start time is the date and time that you can begin enrolling in courses. This will be available to you in your student center. You're going to be able to access that date so that you can prepare ahead of time to be able to get all of that built out before you can actually enroll. Um, these are some of the really important or big resources that are going to be helpful to you in your academic planning and registration. I recommend taking a photo of the slide, scanning some of the QR codes. All of this is available online as well. So you're going to be able to find all of that too. Some of the big ones are first year degree guides. So this will be a page that shows all of the degree guides, and you can find the program that you've been admitted to see what they recommend for that course sequencing. As well, we have our new student registration assistants, which I'll talk about a little bit more on the next slide as well. Our faculty advisors are going to be one of your big supports. The faculty advisors are going to be the people that are able to help with some of those actual course questions. So if you are a student who took something like IB, and you already have credit for a course at the first year level and you're not sure what to register in next, the faculty is going to be able to help with that. As well, one of these pages has all of the key registration dates. One of the other big events, so outside of you at UCalgary, we also recommend attending Registration 101. This is going to be an opportunity for you to work with enrollment services to be able to see how you should plan that first year out as well. I'll leave this up for one more second in case anyone else needs to take a photo of it. Okay. So moving into kind of our next thing that we're thinking about is some of those student services. So as I mentioned, a lot of them live in the the MacEwan Student Center. Some of them are going to be kind of all over campus, but some of the ones that we recommend connecting with, what I mentioned before, new student registration assistants. This is going to be a chance for you to be able to connect with students and other members of the team to be able to get support within some of those tricky situations or when you're not really sure how to register for your courses, they're going to be able to help with that as well. But some of the other ones that are going to be super helpful are our Center for Career and Personal Development. As you start that first year, it can be hard to know exactly what you should do to start building some of those steps for career and personal development. They want to connect with you right away. So getting involved in some of those, some of the workshops, some of the opportunities to build your interview skills, build your resume, all of that will be accessible with them as well. Um, as well as Student Success Center. So if you know that you are going to have to adapt how you learn, or maybe you're interested in getting some of that support for academic writing, they're going to be able to help you as well. The two at the bottom here, they have that little Dino symbol beside them because these are two that you're going to be able to connect with now that you have an offer of admission. Our international student services are going to be able to support with any of your immigration questions before arriving to Canada and joining a program. We recommend connecting with them as soon as possible if you do have questions about immigration and anything in that area as well. As well, our student accessibility services. So if you have a documented disability or medical condition, you're able to connect with student accessibility services to be able to talk about what it looks like to have accessible learning. If you do have questions about what kind of falls under this category, or you're wondering if Student Accessibility Services is the office to support you, we recommend connecting with them anyway. Connect with them right away. They'll be able to support some of those steps if you do have questions about what it looks like to submit documentation, to be able to kind of introduce that when you're talking to professors, things like that as well. They're going to be able to help with all of that. As well, we have our student wellness services. Student wellness services is going to include a doctor, dentist, optometrist, all of this on campus, as well as some of those mental wellness pieces as well. All of this is going to be accessible to you as a student. We also have lots of others on here, our Faith and Spirituality Center, Q Center, our Writing Symbols Lodge, and our Women's Resource Center. All of these you're going to be able to access as a student, and they want to connect with you. So if you have questions, you're always able to connect with them as well. So we also have our new student orientation. So our new student orientation is going to be an opportunity for you to be able to connect with other students as well. The other students within the faculties that you're in will also go through this orientation, so you'll be able to connect with them too, and lots of good chances to be able to meet new friends and attend events such as kickoff, which is the first football game of the season, and things like that as well. Um, So, what are the next steps after accepting your offer? Some of the big ones, March and April is when you're going to be able to start shopping for your classes and preload your shopping cart, as well as viewing the high school registration website and the first year degree guide, and attending you at UCalgary on April 11th. In May, you'll be able to receive a course enrollment date and be accepted, or after you've accepted your offer and paid your deposit. June and July, you're going to be able to explore government student loan opportunities and apply for RESPs. And then August, you'll register for orientation and do things like our health and dental plan opt out. So if you already have health and dental, you're going to be able to opt out of that as well. Um, So our next section is going to be more of that kind of tuition and fees side. But one thing that we do want to do as well is we're going to have the opportunity for some current students to give some information as well. So Diane is one of our current students as well, working as a co-op student within our office. So they're going to chat a little bit about some of their experience, what it's like to be a student on campus.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so I'm in a combined degree with mathematics and gender studies. So I'm two faculties, but kind of just like the programs itself. A really good program. I'm not kind of like just stuck with like one studying one area or field. I'm able to explore any interests that have come up, even kind of with the role I'm in right now in my co-op year. I'm able to kind of like develop some soft skills that might or may not necessarily kind of apply to my degrees, but I'm really building kind of the things I want to build on. So some of those soft skills. Um, so kind of really developing all of kind of what I want to focus on and kind of tailoring it more to um, where I want to go in the future. Um, if anyone has any specific questions about whether maybe like clubs, things like that, opportunities available to get involved, I'm more than happy to chat about those as well. You can type it in the chat. We can kind of talk about that. But in terms of experiences within the university I've had, I've been part of student-led clubs. I'm in science and arts, but I have been part of a business club. So you're even able to do that and kind of branch into other faculties as well. And research as well through the program for undergraduate research experience or the period that I've been kind of answering questions about in the chat there. Um, but really great opportunity to kind of get paid for something that you are passionate about or kind of like what you want to learn more into. So even kind of the idea of like branching into other faculties, I was able to work with two professors with the Cumming School of Medicine, looking at how researchers in the university are involved with kind of community-based research. So how we do research with the community. So you're kind of not really just tied to say like I got accepted into this one degree. I'm just gonna focus all of the things I want to learn within that. It's really like UCalgary has so many opportunities to kind of explore whatever it may be that you're interested in. And there's tons of opportunities, again, whether through research, clubs, volunteering. So you're able to really explore all of those aspects there. But yeah, if anyone has any like specific questions about like specific opportunities, you can put that in the Q&A in the Zoom there, and I'd be able to answer them as well.
Thanks, Diane. Yeah, we always find it super important to have opportunities for you to be able to hear from current students as well. One of the big days that you'll be able to do this, as I said, was you at UCalgary. You'll be able to connect with students. And it's a great chance to be able to find some of those answers too. But yeah, as Diane said, we're always able to answer some of those questions as well. Um, okay, so thinking about kind of that tuition and fee side, that's our next big category. So as I'm sure you've seen or you've heard, we want to be really transparent with the tuition and fees. We know it's a big investment to go to university and that it can be something that's a big consideration. So our tuition is going to be citizenship based. So if you're a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, or protected person, you'll be able to you'll be paying domestic tuition. If you are an international citizen, you'll be paying the international tuition rate. These are pretty big ranges. So as you're going through, the student cost estimator can be helpful so that you can see your exact, or not your exact, but the estimate for your program based on a variety of factors. But we have a huge student financial support program as well. So last year, 35% of our entering students received a scholarship bursary or award, and this equaled out to just over $22 million that got paid. When we think about some of those, some of them are still open for application. So the automatic awards, these are considered based on your admitting average. So if your average is 95% or higher, then you are receive an award of $5,000. This is automatic. So you don't have to worry about applying separately for this one. And say your average isn't at 95% yet, but when we evaluate again, it does move up to 95%, then you'd be eligible for that award. Similarly, if your average was 95% and it dips below, then we would be looking at kind of reevaluating at the end to see if you are meeting that 95% average, and we can give that scholarship back. As well, we have our high school entrance awards. These ones are still open for application. It's a bunch of yes or no questions, takes about 15 minutes. These are due March 1st, and these will be based on your academic experience, family experience, financial need, extracurriculars. There's a big range in those. And these are going to range from 500 up to just under $27,000. With these ones, you'll receive kind of notice if you did receive an award or scholarship at the end of April. So there is a little bit of time. It is you are notified before you'll have to accept your offer as well. And then our prestige awards, these ones are closed for application, but if you did apply for these ones, the notification period for these is about March or April. So again, before you have to accept your offer of admission. The nice thing is that as we go through, you'll be notified in your student center or by email if there's updates to that as well. One of the ones that I do want to highlight is our first generation scholars program. So if you have already applied for high school entrance awards, or if you haven't done it yet but you want to, this is one that can be really a good opportunity to consider. So this is for students, domestic students whose parents, legal or chosen guardians did not go to post-secondary anywhere in the world. There's an award of $2,500. This is also including some wraparound supports and services throughout this program. So, mentorship from older or upper year students who are first generation students, connections with networking, being able to get some of that wraparound academic advising and support. All of that's going to be accessible through there. Um, there this is a pretty new program. I believe this is the second year of this program, but it's a really, really great opportunity to connect with people who have been in a similar experience. For me, I was a first generation student. My parents didn't go to post-secondary, and being able or having to navigate post-secondary through that first year without having kind of the background experience or knowledge on what it would look like was something that I did consider as I was looking at post-secondary, but this is a great opportunity to get those supports as you go through that program. So if you are a student who has third-party sponsorship, so an organization is paying your tuition and fees directly, there are some additional responsibilities that you'll have. So submitting that sponsorship letter through a service request every term, as well as paying any fees that the sponsor doesn't cover. Some of the ones including that are things like application fees, deposits, and late interest fees. Those ones um, will not be cannot be sponsored. We do want to connect with you if you are a student who it does have that third party sponsorship so that we can be able to support with that as well. Okay, so some of the important dates here. Um, as you all applied, we know that the deadline to make any changes to your application is March 1st. If you're wanting to change your program choices, add a combined degree option, anything like that, you need to make those changes before March 1st. As well, you'll have until May 1st to apply for that residence guarantee for that first year. As long as you apply within that window, you'll have that guaranteed spot. May 1st is also the deadline to accept your offer of admission and pay that deposit. As we said, we recommend paying that deposit 7 days before, but you have until May 1st to accept that offer. As well, the one that's kind of in between there, March 15th, is the deadline to submit unofficial transcripts or unofficial documents required for admission. And then when we get to the summer, we'll ask for those final documents as well. So as you go through, we do still want to answer all of your questions. We want to be able to support you, especially as you transition into talking with enrollment services and our faculty advising teams. If you don't know where to go, you can always send us an email. We'll be able to send you to the proper place. If you are a Calgary student or Calgary and area, we want to connect with you at calgary.recruiter@ucalgary.ca. As well, if you are a student who's looking to transfer, if you've been admitted as a transfer student, then you would connect with Aspen at transfer.recruiter@ucalgary.ca. And if you are a Indigenous student, we recommend connecting with Hallie and Alicia at indigenous.recruiter@ucalgary.ca. If you're a student who is from or an international student studying in Canada, or you're from an underrepresented group, we want to be able to connect with you at community.liaison@ucalgary.ca. And our specialist, Kara, will be able to support there as well.